So basically, we literally, really do live in a simulation. And some of us are literally just dropping in to be like, hey, because we live somewhere else. And we made a video game that got so realistic, we got lost in it. And then when we died in it, we thought that we had to stay here because we forgot. And then we died and came back as another player and another player because we are so smart and artificially intelligent that we've been recreating ourselves in a game for this long. And literally at any time you can operate two bodies at one time. This one and the one that's up there. Basically, think about how they're making virtual reality now and they're making the metaverse. You're going to get so involved into these games that they become real because what you tell your mind it is, it believes that it is, and it will become one with that entity, basically. So then I was thinking about how my daughter asked me the other day if we were going on a long plane ride, what would we do? Because it was like 10 hours, and I was like, watch a movie or something. So then I'm thinking, what if they're making... This is just a game for the aliens that are asleep on a spaceship, that are literally on their way here. I know that doesn't make sense, but I promise you it really does. It's like if we were one place, and then we were traveling, like we were here, A, traveling to B. And to get to B, it's like, I don't know, 10 years? So you create a game that you can go into, and this is also where the med beds come into too. And this reminds me so much of Avatar, but just think about being on a spaceship for 10 years and you go into the metaverse and become one with that game and think that point B, because we now know that we can create anything with our minds, the video game that we created now became a physical reality, which is going from point A, traveling, to point B on a spaceship. When the aliens get here, it would be like me getting off the spaceship and being like, hey, remember I've been trying to tell you all of this via telepathic communication, that I was on my way to tell y'all. So like basically it's like our higher selves telling us to tell other people, hey, we're coming, we're on the way, be ready because you're gonna see us. And don't be mad when you find out that this isn't even the real world. It is really similar to Earth though, but this isn't none of this is real, but it is like your mind is in two vessels at once, if that makes any sense. So not only does your mind have a body in one place, but this mind is connected to a body somewhere else. And it's basically living another life. So say whenever you go to sleep and then you wake up in your other self having a whole nother life, and then you wake up here, and then you wake up there, and then you wake up here, but you haven't realized it yet. So basically the only way that you can wake up out of this is to tell yourself and realize it for yourself, since your consciousness can go into either body. So if this body died, it wouldn't even matter because I have a whole nother body that's on a spaceship that would come down and be like, yo, so remember when Paris was trying to tell you and y'all thought that she was crazy? But it's like we're both here at the same time this go around, so that we can prove to ourselves and each other like, hey, what's up? Yeah, like fist bump myself. Hey, I don't know, basically. So I feel like I look a lot like this, and I'm gonna know who I am whenever they get off or come up out the water, whichever one. But I feel like the ones that are coming up out of the water are the giant, Before I was rudely interrupted, I feel like the ones that are coming up out of the water are the giants. But another thing that I had a vision of, it was really pretty crazy. It was like these aliens that were super tiny, but then they formed into like, they projected into these big beings, but then they were really only like this big. But then in our reality, they were like huge. But a way to also let you know that our consciousness can be in another body, just Avatar, Freaky Friday, Behind Her Eyes, or Through Her Eyes, or something like that on Netflix. There is another movie too, but anytime people switch bodies and put their consciousness in somebody else's body, like where they switch, that's basically letting you know that we can, yeah. Another crazy thought, if that is the case, then that means people here that have already advanced, they could have a whole robot that's built and have like flesh-like features and totally be just like a real robot with somebody's consciousness already in it. And the fact that yeah, so there's also that, robots with realistic brains, like Beyonce could straight go to sleep and then wake up in a robot of a 24-year-old somebody else and be living a whole nother life. I could literally buy a costume slash robot with realistic skin, because I know that they got these. This is what all these people have been saving up money for, so that when the latest newest electronics come out, they can be a part of that. That's what they are doing with the metaverse too. So anyways, I could go buy I could be a 30-year-old hot man that's black, and my consciousness just straight goes up out of here. What is that one movie with Chris Rock and he comes down as the white guy? It's gonna be like that, and people are gonna have a hard time. Really, like, we already have a hard time, but people aren't gonna know the difference between what is real, what is fake, what is metaverse, what is Earth, what is this planet, that planet, what's a simulation, what's reality. Nobody's gonna know, because it's already like that, obviously. Sometimes I really look at the world as it just being dark and lonely, and my imagination got so boring, dark, and lonely that I started to picture what it would be like if I had friends. And then all of a sudden, the things that I pictured in my mind as a dark, lonely nothingness came to reality. And then it just never stopped creating after that, because it got so excited that it made one reflection, that it made 8 billion reflections, and then all these little aspects of trees, birds, bees, metals, elements, chemicals, air, fire, water, earth. And it just continues to multiply and grow and grow and grow. And this isn't it, and this isn't all that there's going to be. Look at your spiritual awakening as a death, literally, because ever since I woke up, my life hasn't ever been the same, and it never will be. I could never forget what I am seeing, no matter what people try to tell me. People could try to say that this world is one thing, but the universe, it's showing me something different, and you can't take away what the universe is actually showing me to make it real in my life. And you may never see it, and it may never be real to you in your life, but it's real to me in mine, because of how I believe. Because what I believe is the only thing that matters. And it'll be the only thing that comes true. So once you basically go through your spiritual death and you lose your job and your money and your things and your friends and your family, you start to be at this place, and you learn and you learn and you learn and you learn and you keep on learning. And then all of a sudden, once you're done learning, you start to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And then that's whenever you really start to imagine what your new life, even though my body's still the same, is looking great. even though I'm still the same person, my mind is different. So I'm going to create a world that is now different. It'll never be the same. And I don't have to go back to that willingly, because honestly, it was mental slavery. I heard a mumble / stutter in there as well. I'm gonna go to bed. Let's do that.